I'm still here. Apparently, I'm stuck on Comic Book Canon. Hey everyone, I'm Dan Dilatore. I am the emergency guest host apparently for Comic Book Canon. I have no idea where the boys are, so it's just you and I tonight, but we know how this all works, so I think we can get through it. Let's start with some news here.
What? Whoa. What's going on here? Honestly, like what is going on here?
You ruined my intro.
Your intro? This is our show. What are you doing?
I thought I'd won the show. I thought that was what the prize was.
No, you were a guest co-host.
Jeez.
Chris, jump in here, please. Don't make me the asshole.
Again, it's another sign when you go too easy on a guest co-host, they think they're just gonna hijack the whole show.
You're damn right, and it should not be happening at all. I didn't even have our background up. I didn't even turn my lights on. Dan, you're ruining this whole show.
You know what this is? It's because I'm a Defenders fan. You know who I am? I'm kind of the Defenders of this comic commentary show. I don't have a show. I kind of roam from show to show. Like the Defenders are a non-team, so I'm being kind of treated like a non-team, and I'm kind of crying foul.
All right, here's the deal. We have to move on with the show. You were a guest co-host last week. We love you, but we have to move on, okay?
I guess I didn't read the fine print, so I'll do a better job next time. Hey, before I go, I'm going to be on another show just after you guys. Oh, by the way, do you like the shirt? I love this shirt, by the way. Get yourself some journos wear. Love this. This is going to be my new LCS shirt. Whenever I go to my LCS, this is what I'll be wearing.
That's awesome.
After this show, I'm going to be on the Tony Sanders show. It's a great show, sort of a wrestling-based theme, and I appreciate it. It's right after the Canon show, so I appreciate your support.
Oh, the link is in the down in the description, so y'all check it out. Dan, we love you again, but you got to go. Chris and I have a show to do.
Thanks, guys. I'll try. I'll do better next time. Maybe it'll count.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Good luck tonight.
I mean, like seriously, what is that? That is.
Man.
I have no words.
We might have to get a restraining order.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
A virtual restraining order.
We do love him. We do love him. Dan Dilatore. Catch him on the Tony Sanders show. Link is down below in the description. We have a great show tonight, guys. We have a great show. Ron Marz is on the show. We have a great interview with Ron Marz, acclaimed comic writer. So that is super exciting. But Chris, right now, we're just going to get into the news. And we're just going to just jam through the news and get to that interview with Ron Marz. Oh, also, what else are we doing? We're announcing the winner from Fresh from the Comic Shop for the month of July. What are they going to win?
Yep. Boom.
That's right.
Set it down in all its glory.
We do have a winner, and we will announce that winner at the right at the beginning of Fresh from the Comic Shop.
Yep, that's right.
Right now, we're just going to get right into it. And usually we have time to edit videos and all this other stuff. And we have a brand new Shang-Chi trailer that I'm definitely excited about, but I was not able to edit it in Premiere, so I'm going to take Chris and I out, so there's no distractions, because you'll just see us like bobbling around once the trailer comes in, and we're just going to roll that trailer. Chris, does that sound like a good idea to you?
It sounds amazing.
All right.
What happened to your shirt?
All I ever wanted was a normal life.
My son, the 10 Rings, gave our family legendary power. Show me you are strong enough to carry them.
I'm nothing like you. I thought I could change my name. Start a new life.
You can't outrun your destiny.
I'm not afraid of you.
Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Rated PG-13.
Yep, that's how I feel too. Yeah. That looks amazing. Shang-Chi is going to be released September 3rd. We are a little more than a month away. We do not deserve all this amazing comic book content, Chris. We do not deserve it, but I will take every second of it. How about you?
How about these Marvel soundtracks, though, man?
Oh, come on.
Like,
Come on.
I mean, I'm getting very Black Panther vibe on this, but even going back to the Guardian soundtracks and like this music is just, hey, I will say there's sometimes where like previews in movies, especially like action movies, will use like really corny rap music.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's just and I'm like, oh my God, it's doing too much.
Yeah.
But this music is just setting the tone for me, man. Just for some reason, it's just getting me hyped. I want to start, boxing and kickboxing folks. And
I don't think it'll be as good as he is, but anyways, the attempt is, I applaud that. But again, there's just so much. We told you the floodgates were opening, and it's just pouring out on us, and we love it. We love it. We love it. All right, moving on. More fun news, because we got all these Batfleck images of Batfleck and the Bat Bike. But you know what's better than an image? Video, Chris. Check this out, man. This is from the set of Glasgow. Look at that bike right there. That thing is gorgeous. I mean, come on. You got the up the shot. That is not Ben Affleck, by the way. That's a stunt double. As I just mentioned, production has moved to Glasgow, and here we have a nice little chase scene going on. What's that? Whip it. It's like they're drifted. Production video credit here goes to Zack Snyder's DC Universe _ _ that is a Instagram handle. And it again, this bike is I don't like this how they did the slow motion shot. We get it, we saw it. That's great. But you know what? Heroic Hollywood brought up a good point. I have not read this series right here, but that bike is a little bit reminiscent to what we've seen on Batman the White Knight. Look at that. It looks a lot like that. Exciting stuff from the Batman set in actually, I'm sorry, this is the Flash set. It's getting confusing with all these different Batmans and what we've mentioned how we feel about DC and all of their productions, but this right here, I'm excited for this. I don't know, man. We're very pessimistic. We get down in DC a lot, DCEU, but I have some good feelings going on. Again, I like Shazam. That's around the corner. You've got Black Adam looks incredible, and then what they got going on with the Flash sounds very, very interesting. But speaking about DCEU, Chris, you have the next story. Take it.
The DCEU that we all want to succeed. So I'm going to be optimistic like Jeff here with this news. I'm a fan favorite. I love this guy in almost everything he does. J.K. Simmons, yes, returning to the role as Commissioner Gordon in the HBO Max Batgirl feature film. Simmons played Gordon in Zack Snyder's Justice League and has stated that he was originally contracted for 3 films and said that he hoped to return to the role. So, again, can this be something that confirms that this is in the DCEU? We got Birds of Prey and the Flash writer Christina Hodson that's writing this film as well. So, multiple factors going into this that Warner Brothers is planning for this film to be a part of the already established DCEU. But again, when we talk about already established DCEU, what does that really mean at this point, since we've had so much, confusion and, being pulled in multiple directions from Warner Brothers execs stating what exactly is going on with all of these properties and feature films. So, again, we don't have that vision right now. I know a lot of fans out there want the already established DCEU to maybe this is their continued attempt at this, going back to that last news too of seeing Ben Affleck back in the bat suit, or his stunt double. These are things that I think are being put forward as hopeful for those diehard DC fans. But I think you and I can agree, Jeff, as much as we both as well want the DCEU to continue to get fleshed out, though, it needs to be done right at this point. So, again, I could sit here and be optimistic and enthusiastic about this, but I'm not going to set my standards extremely high. So I'm, because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm going to wait for these things to come out.
Listen, we've been burned too many times before, and I agree, but I don't know. I have an optimistic feeling today. I don't know why.
That's good.
And just to have a little bit of hope. We've been burned more times than not with the DCEU, and I'm just hoping that moving forward, it will be less burn and more churning out great material. I tried. Listen, I'm a little discombobulated too because I have full disclosure. I ran to go get my beer that was in the fridge, and it is blowing up now on this table. So it's literally I rookie mistake. I was like, oh, I'll just put them in the freezer quick, and I forgot about them. So anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, it's J.K. Simmons, great commissioner. I thought he was great as Commissioner Gordon, even though he played a very minimal part. But you know what else is great, guys? We got some more MCU news, and that's right. We got a Hawkeye release date this week. Hawkeye release date, guys. I'm super psyched about this series because we have Haley Steinfeld coming on as Kate Bishop. That's right. It was announced that Hawkeye will be released. The series will be released 11/24. That's November the 24th. And yes, Miss Marvel is still going to be released this year as well. So that is 5 series and 4 films in 2021. Along with this announcement, they released the first official image here. Really not much going on. Apparently, this is when they first meet. I don't know. But this is super exciting, Chris. Super exciting. Needles are moving. Remember we're talking about the needle? It's moving forward. The DCU, like with Wonder Woman, that needle did not move forward at all. MCU is always moving the needle forward. And it's super exciting to hear about this because it's an unquestionable. It's a success on Disney Plus, these series.
5 + 4 in 1 year.
It's incredible.
Unbelievable. Remember when we got like 2 movies or maybe 3 movies? Then it got to 3 movies and then they're like, it's too much. And then remember the article we talked about last week when, who was it? The Washington Post tried to declare that people were Marvel, Marvel Studio
that was
burnout.
just last week. Yeah.
What a joke. What a joke. No. And you're right. The bar continues to get raised. I'm going to be more excited for What If than I have than any other animated TV show ever, probably in my life. As an adult at least. And then, what we know so far of Hawkeye, a character that's kind of, been in the background, going to come to the forefront while at the same time establishing new characters. It's just, I have absolute faith in where their show is going to go. I'm so excited.
There's no reason we shouldn't have faith based on the previous 3 series. I mean, What If is coming. Again, it was just announced that Miss Marvel and Hawkeye are going to be released this year. You got Moon Knight around the corner.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. And it's a great time to be a comic book fan. Like the 12-year-old me, if I could go back in time and be like, yo, guess what? This and this and this is going to happen. I'd be like, bullshit, get the hell out of my face. You suck. Probably call myself a boomer, even though I didn't know what that meant. But anyways, moving on. So that's super exciting stuff. Now, again, we are super excited. We got Ron Marz in the house tonight. Great interview. Looking forward to that. But this last piece of news, we really don't want to bring it to you, but we have to, Chris. We have to. So, Chris, take it away.
We do. We've talked about on the show before too, Jeff, how Marvel Studios has done a very good job at building relationships, building rapport, and keeping their resume squeaky clean. Well, we got some breaking news today that is seemingly tarnishing that good boy image. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney. Yes, Scarlett Johansson filed a suit in the Los Angeles Superior Court this week, alleging that Disney broke and violated her contract for the Black Widow film. Here's what we know, okay? In short, part of Johansson's salary was directly correlated to a percentage of box office revenue, and in that contract, there was a clear agreement for the film to be solely released theatrically, all right? We know that it was Disney's hand that forced Marvel to do the simultaneous VOD/theatrical release, that hybrid release. Kevin Feige actually pushed back against doing it that way, and ultimately, I don't know the details of if he just caved or where the legalities were, but Disney had their way. We got the hybrid release, all right? This is what a Disney spokesperson has stated regarding Johansson filing suit. Quote, "There is no merit whatsoever to this filing, and that the suit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic." He further stated Disney has fully complied with Ms. Johansson's contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million that she has received to date. All right, I want to point this fact out right here. The fact that Scarlett Johansson has raked in $20 million in earnings and salary is neither here nor there. The only question that matters here is, was her contract indeed violated? I've heard a lot of people chiming in on social media. Oh, these greedy millionaires and movie stars. That's besides the point. Let's focus on the question. Was her contract violated? All right. That's the only thing we should be focused on. We're going to move on here. From the evidence that is on the table, I would say that without a doubt, Johansson's that it has been that her contract has been violated. Okay, that's my personal opinion. Here's what Johansson's attorney had to say, replying to Disney's claim. Quote, "It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly onto Disney Plus to increase subscribers and therefore boost the company's stock price. And that it's hiding behind COVID-19 as a pretext to do so, but ignoring the contracts of the artists responsible for the success of these films in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy violates their rights, and we look forward to proving as much in court." So, this is why Disney, look, this is what we know too. And we reported on it right here on Comic Book Canon. Disney arranged earlier, or I think it was late in 2020. Disney arranged contracts with actors and directors and the producers for upcoming film projects, including Marvel Studios, to prepare for the possible future hybrid releases. But it didn't have anything to do with the current 2020 releases, which included Black Widow. All right. So there was no rearranging of contracts there. Whatever was originally contracted was in writing according to public knowledge. All right. When you look at how Warner Brothers, now, Jeff and I have talked about a lot of the dysfunction with Warner Brothers handling the DCEU and the DC properties. One thing that they did with the Wonder Woman 84 release, when they made that agreement to put it on HBO Max and, as a hybrid as well with the minimal theatrical release, it was agreed upon with the involved actors, directors, and everyone in terms of working out a contract. Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins were both compensated $10 million. So that's a way that I'm using as an example to say this is how you should handle the situation like this. All right. So I do want to conclude on one note, because like I said, this isn't about looking at a dollar amount and saying, oh, come on, she's being greedy. She earned $20 million already. It's about understanding that in any industry, successful industries are built on trust. And if you break that trust, it's bad business. So here's my conclusion analogy. And I'm going to use pizza for an example. If you go into a restaurant, say you go and by yourself and you buy an extra large pizza and you pay X amount for it, right? You get that extra large pizza. You eat half of it and you have the half remaining, and the waiter or the waitress comes back, takes that other half from you, goes to the kitchen and shares it with the kitchen staff. You ate half and you are completely full. Does that matter that you were full and that you weren't going to eat the rest of that pizza right then? That they decide to take the rest of it and dish it out how they want? Or are you entitled to the rest of that pizza no matter if you were full or not? You had a contract. It doesn't matter that these people already have enough money, the actors, that is. Just like it didn't matter that you already had enough pizza. You are owed what you agreed upon, period. Kevin Feige has came out and said he is disgusted on how Disney is handling this matter and has stood up for Scarlett Johansson. So, Jeff, I'll let you come back in and have your word on this. But for me, I'm not going to act like I know everything. But I know it's easy for us as fans outside looking in to sit here and say, look at this entitled millionaire actress complain, but like I said, I think I pointed out some key elements to where it's like, it's not about the money. It's about business and building those relationships, you know, and with Feige backing her up on this, I don't know. One last thing before I let you jump in too. I don't mind Disney playing the field to see what they can do with this hybrid model. As a businessman, I'm like, that's a good, but if you're going to do that, you need to go back to the table with everyone that has a defined contract and renegotiate.
Yeah, I agree. This is ugly. This is really ugly. I'm surprised at how nasty Disney's response was. They're like,
yep,
pushing back on this. I don't know what's been happening behind the scenes. There had been a lot of talks before it got to this point. It's just nasty, and the way, you know, from an outsider perspective, you know, us, she helped build the MCU, right? And you know, 20 million versus 50 million. Most of us would be very happy with $20 million. We'd be happy with a quarter of that. Very happy with a quarter of that. But that's not the point. The point is, if they're in breach of contract, she's owed this money. She helped build the MCU, you know, and everybody's like, oh, those pampered actors, you know, they have a craft. They make sacrifices. They have families. She's got a kid and another one on the way, but she has a kid and she had to be away from that kid for a few months. That's not easy to do. That is not easy to do. And, you know, get paid. She's getting paid what she feels like she is worth. What her and her agent and manager have worked towards, what she's helped build with the MCU. This is just ugly, disgusting, and again, we don't know all the facts, but from what we see here, I don't know. It's going to open up. Like this is kind of unprecedented because it will open up for others to follow and make sure that they negotiate their contract appropriately with the day and day release, right? You know, in theater and on a streaming platform.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting. Again, it's ugly, and I hate when people take half my pizza.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about the money, it's about principle. And if you look at, this is almost you look at like social issues, and I'm not saying that this is a social issue, but it's a rights issue. Anything that's contractual, violating those rights can cause detriments later on to where people do begin to get taken advantage of. And business entities that have a lot of power have been known to do that. And we are evolving, whether it's politically, economically, on the business side, and education, social rights, human rights, all these things. We need to be able to stand up and say it's about principle. And look, you know, I'm not gonna put it past Disney, you know, just trying to be short-sighted here and be on a power trip, because when you got Kevin Feige standing up for his, you know, partner Scarlett Johansson and what they built, that absolutely says something. And it is a shame. It is a shame that it's come to this, because we love our MCU. We love our Kevin Feige. We cannot have bad blood. I think Disney knows that, though. And I think ultimately I'm staying optimistic about this. I really hope that this works out in favor of everyone involved and we can learn from it.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't get so nasty that it ends up really becoming something really bad that none of us want.
Absolutely. Again, they got a good thing going. They got a good thing going. Everybody's benefited from this thing. Not only the two parties here, but we, the fans, have benefited from this. And just make it good, everybody. Make it good. Live up to your obligations here. All right, and that there ends the news. Chris, I'm really excited about this next segment we got coming up.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited. It almost didn't happen. Somebody tried to sabotage this interview here. We'll get into the story as to why, but we're very excited to have this man right here on the show today. Now, if you call yourself a comic fan, then our next guest should be no stranger to you. Not only has he made his mark on huge characters such as Green Lantern and Silver Surfer, but he's also worked with almost every publisher imaginable while collecting awards. He's now in the final push of his latest creator-owned project that you can get in on the ground floor. We'll explain in a sec. Everybody, please welcome Mr. Ron Marz. Ron, how are you?
Ron.
I'm relieved to be out of a parking garage.
Well, here's the deal. Normally, when we have our guests on these shows, we get to know them at least 15 minutes before the show. Chris and I were doing our pre-show thing with Dan, and it was like, wait, where's Ron? And I look at my email, like he's like, I'm stuck in a parking garage, and I don't know if I'll ever get out. So real quick, this is not the important part of the interview, but it kind of is because somebody tried to sabotage this interview.
Totally. So yeah, I went out to dinner with a friend and left plenty of time to get back to my desk in time, and parked in a parking garage. And when I went to leave the parking garage, the guy in front of me is just stopped for like 5 minutes. And so, I stick my head out and, hey, what's going on? He's like, well, the machine's busted. The arm won't go up. We're trapped.
Oh no.
So then I get out of my car and walk behind me to like tell everybody, the other dozen cars in line,
Oh God,
like what's going on. So I get to the end of the line, and the guy tells me, like, there's, I called the attendant, they're sending somebody, but the machine is jammed. So I get to the end of the line, tell the last car what's going on, and then I look, and the guy that's the first one in line, the arm goes up and he pulls out. So I run back to my car, and then the arm comes back down again before I can get out.
Oh no.
So I had to press the intercom, go through the whole thing all over again. And I told, finally the attendant calls back and he says, okay, well, what's your ticket number? What time is it? Like, I'm going through all this stuff. And I'm like, look, dude, there's like a dozen cars here. Just press whatever magic button you have and put the arm up so everybody can leave.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I don't know how to do that. So I can raise it for you. So I got out, and then the arm went back down, and the people behind me had to go through the same thing.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
Here's the deal. We're very, very happy you're here. We got lots to discuss. Again, we're glad you made it out alive. At least you were fed beforehand. Like, if you would have to stay overnight, at least you had a nice meal in you, right? And you could sleep in your car.
It was enchiladas, a little mole sauce, a couple of margaritas. So if I had to sleep it over, it'd be all right.
You'd be fine. But we're very glad that you're here. And first things first, we want to talk about what you have coming up, because we kind of teased this, in your introduction, that you have this cool project coming up. It's a creator-owned project, and it's through Zoot. Now, Chris is going to be taking the reins in this interview, but Chris, let's just start off real quick. Tell us a little bit how you got into writing and what led you, to take your talents and apply them to comic books.
I was always a writer. I mean, like, that's what I always did through elementary school, high school. Like, that's what I could do. If you needed somebody to, help out with your book report or your term paper, I was the one that you came and, paid $20 to, and, got a little help for that. So when I was in college, I was working at a daily newspaper as my part-time job, as a reporter, and got to be friends with Jim Starlin during that period. And because we lived in the same area, kind of moved in the same social circles after I had met Bernie Wrightson. And Jim was the one who said, hey, do you ever want to try to write comics? Is that something that would be of interest? Which is like, hey, do you want to play for the Yankees? Well, yeah. So Jim co-wrote my first few scripts with me, showed me how to do it. I was already a fan of comics and very familiar with the format. It wasn't like I just got pulled off the street to do this. But Jim co-wrote my first few jobs with me, showed me the ropes, and I've been doing it literally ever since.
That's incredible.
Yeah, absolute amazing start. You answered one of my questions, because you already talked about, you were already a fan of comics and enjoying the art form in the hobby. What an introduction, though. I mean, did you feel like out of the gate running that this was, something that you knew you wanted to do, or did you have kind of that breakthrough moment where you had to sit and have that realization?
Well, I knew I wanted to tell stories. That was always what I'd want to do since I was a kid. Since I figured out I probably wasn't going to play professional baseball by the time I was in 6th grade. That's the only other thing that occurred to me. So I really thought I would probably write novels, because I was a huge reader growing up. I still am, but now I do too much writing to do as much reading as I want. But I just thought I would write like science fiction and fantasy novels. That seemed to be a pretty cool gig. But comics presented themselves when I was 22 or 23, and I've literally been doing it since then, and have been lucky enough to write some prose and some short stories and stuff like that as well. But the vast majority of my career has been comics.
Awesome. So, we, and for viewers that may not know, you've done some classic work for both, the big two, Marvel and DC, characters like Silver Surfer, Green Lantern. Talk a little bit about like what it was like for you in terms of the creative side to work for Marvel and DC. Like, was there a different kind of excitement work for each? Do you feel like telling the stories of the characters from each universe or company kind of gave you a different feel, or was there anything that really separated those two?
It's really kind of the same job no matter where you do it, whether it's Marvel or DC or Star Wars or your own creator own stuff. It's all basically the same job. I grew up more as a Marvel reader, and that's where I started my career. So I was probably a little more attuned to that stuff and a little more attached to it. But within a few years, I had moved over, so I was doing stuff at DC as well as Marvel. And DC was Super Friends. DC was, Batman and Superman movies, the stuff that you would watch as a kid. I didn't read as many DC comics as a kid. So in some ways, when I was doing the Green Lantern stuff, that was my way to explore the DC universe while I was kind of doing the job.
That is awesome. I do want to ask you this, and we've had a few creators on that have, worked on some, legendary characters. And I always like to pick folks' brains. Talk a little about the pressure, if there is any. I don't want to put words in your mouth to say that there is, but I know if I was in a situation to where you get this character, this classic, iconic character, Silver Surfer, Green Lantern, to Spider-Man, to Superman, whoever it may be, and you got 30, 40, 50 plus years of writers building up this character and its story arc. How do you approach something like that where you're coming in and have to carry on a legacy of sorts?
I guess I deal with it by not thinking about it. Like I didn't, any of the stuff I've done, I just tried to tell the stories that I wanted to tell and the stories that I knew how to tell, and not worry about what came before, other than obviously you have to be familiar with the to a certain extent the continuity and the cast of characters and all that stuff. Although you can't be a slave to that stuff because that's not, those are details. That's not a story. Like knowing all that stuff is not knowing how to tell a story. You have to use those things are tools that are in your toolbox to help you tell the story. They're not a story in and of themselves. So, for me, it was, you figure out what of those pieces you want to use, what characters you want to bring back, or what ones you want to tell stories about. But you try to bring as much of yourself to it and as much of the new outlook that you want to bring to it as you can. Because, look, comics are cyclical. Superhero comics especially are cyclical. The Fantastic Four fights Doctor Doom on a regular basis. Like that's the next time they fight Doctor Doom is not going to be a new story, right? It's a story that we've seen before, but it's a really good story, so we don't mind that happening again. But you try to put it, you try to put a different spin on it. You try to put a different shade of meaning to it. They're both Marvel and DC, and certainly other places too, like Star Wars universe, the Conan universe. Like they're all such great toys. They're all of these toys are there for you to play with, right? So you have to figure out which ones you think you're going to play with the best, and where you want to add new toys to the toy box.
Awesome, great analogy.
Quick follow up. Is it fair to say though, with almost a fresh perspective in terms of your DC, because you lean towards Marvel, that's kind of how characters like Kyle Rayner came about too, though, right? And you bring a new mythos to Green Lantern.
Well, certainly it's not like I came to DC and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna, I'm going to F up Hal Jordan, and then I'm going to bring in a new Green Lantern. How do you like that? Like that's a thing that DC editorial tells you. This is what the plan is.
Got it.
Or at the very least, it's something that you propose and get permission to do. So in my case, when DC brought me on a Green Lantern, the idea was, okay, it's time for a new Green Lantern. We want to do something new. We want to do something in a different direction than the book has been in before. So I had obviously their blessing. That was the job. That was here, make something new, make something that's a ground floor read for the readership. But having Kyle being introduced to the DC universe in his storyline was my way of introducing myself to the DC universe. It's not an accident that, within his first year or year and a half of being the lead character, Kyle goes to visit, Gotham City and Batman and Shazam and Wonder Woman. So basically I just, I wanted to play with all those toys. So, so the idea of going to those places and visiting those characters worked in a story context because he was new to the DC universe, but also the real world concern was, oh man, I want to write a story with Batman in it. So it was an opportunity for Kyle to meet his heroes in that sense, and also for me to be able to play with those toys.
Awesome, great. I love the analogy there. I think if we have any writers that are inspiring, great tips. I hope you're taking notes. All right, Ron, let's talk about the now. There's a lot going on, a lot that I know Jeff and I are absolutely excited for, a lot that you viewers definitely should keep eyes and ears on. You have a project that you are working on right now with writer Andy Lanning and artist Rick Leonardi, both have done awesome, amazing work as well in the past. You have a project called Resolution. This project is being featured on the newer crowdfunding platform Zoop again, and I think Zoop personally is a platform that's really kind of revolutionizing crowdfunding for comic books, and is taking this stuff to the next level. But let's just talk a little bit about what this project and story is all about, and how the three of you came together to make this happen.
So like you said, Zoop is a new crowdfunding platform. It's akin to Kickstarter or Indiegogo. It's a place where you can put your project up and have people basically, pledge to it or pre-buy it, pre-order it. So I know Jordan in particular from Zoop, and he reached out to me a while ago and said, we're doing this new platform. It's a comic centric platform. It's a crowdfunding platform that is for comics specifically. Do you have anything you want to bring to this? So I got in touch with my buddy Andy, who I've been doing some co-writing with, both in the past and more recently. Andy and I did the Endless Winter crossover for DC last December, the big Justice League story. So Andy and I put our heads together and came up with the bare bones of what turned into Resolution, and then looped in Rick Leonardi, who's been a buddy of mine for, 20 years or something like that. So Rick is penciling, Andy's co-writing with me, and Andy is also inking Rick's pencils. So it's kind of a three-headed monster doing this story. And it's Andy and I decided we wanted to do what a good chunk of the readership knows us for, which is a big cosmic sort of space opera story. Me with Green Lantern and Silver Surfer, and Andy having worked on Legion of Superheroes, Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova. It's kind of right in our wheelhouse. So what we came up with and eventually titled Resolution, the short version of the story is it's Green Lantern Corps meets Unforgiven. It's about
that's badass. That is badass.
It's about a retired hero who was part of a an intergalactic peacekeeping force. The peacekeeping force is called the Resolute, hence the name Resolution. So the Resolute are spacefaring heroes who are granted immense power to keep the peace in the universe. And our main hero is a woman named Zan Maddox, who is retired from being a hero in the Resolute. And she lives, as that graphic just showed, she lives kind of on a desolate planet by herself, with her demons of her past. She lives in a remote kind of desert world that has floating oceans, floating bodies of water. And she is kind of summoned back into the hero role by some people from her past who seek her out and tell her that her arch nemesis, the villain that was her opposite number, who was called Tau the Desolation, has been discovered, and there's a bounty on his head. And he's a pale imitation of his former self. He's gettable. So let's go get him and collect that money. And the decisions that Zan Maddox makes to that offer and what happens afterward are really the crux of the story. And the intention is it'll be a multi-volume story about her being summoned back and Tau the Desolation returning to the universe.
Awesome. I personally love cosmic stuff. Mixing this gives it a fresh take as well. So I want to talk a little bit about, how the viewers, if you guys are interested in this, of course, we do have the link below.
Link is below in the description, but it's also right here.
Yep, there it is. Zoop link. Yeah, I do believe we have just under 2 weeks left.
Yeah, we've got about 2 weeks and I don't know, about $5,000 to go to hit our goal. Right. And of course, we'd like to be over the goal. That would be nice too. Right. That we wouldn't refuse that. But so the campaign includes the central piece is the hardcover graphic novel. It's going to be an oversized sort of French album style hardcover, written by me and Andy, drawn by Rick, inked by Andy, and colored by Andrew Dahlhaus. So that's the centerpiece. There's also a companion comic size volume that will be kind of the behind the scenes process book that'll include the script, Rick's layouts, pencils, inks, colors, character designs, all of the behind the scenes stuff that we can pack into it to kind of give a glimpse at the creative process of it. And then there's a portfolio that has 14 pieces in it right now. We might add a piece or two before we're done. But we basically sort of, twisted the arms of a bunch of our artist friends like Brian Hitch and Liam Sharp, Phil Jimenez, Ron Lim, Paul Pelletier, Bart Sears, and a host of others to contribute pieces to the portfolio. So that'll be a nicely packaged portfolio, sort of like the portfolios that were really popular in the 80s, when Marvel and DC were both putting out really cool portfolios. So that's kind of what we wanted to recapture with this. And then there's original art. There's head sketches from Andy and Rick both. There's the original cover art from the graphic novel, interior pages, full body sketches from Andy and Rick. So and even chances to be in the book. You can actually appear in the book for a not terribly princely sum, but you can be drawn into the book, and I don't know, maybe we'll even kill you at some point in the book.
That would be quite an honor.
But just to clarify, this is run just like a Kickstarter. You guys, there's incentives here. Yep. You can get all these cool things like those. That's incredible. And if you go to that site, you'll see a lot of the things that they're showing. For example, I mean, this work is outstanding. Plus, all the other artists you just mentioned are fantastic as well. So y'all need to be checking out that link down below if this interests you at all. And just by this image alone, I mean, come on, get out of here. This is the third time I brought this up. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, that's actually one of the portfolio pieces.
Gorgeous.
That's by a friend of ours named Greg Broadmoor, who actually works at Weta Workshop in New Zealand.
Mm.
And Greg is one of the most insanely talented artists I've ever met. I think that piece he banged out in like a day and a half. We just said, "Here's what this is about." He said, "Oh, okay, I'll get you something, I'll get you something soon." And soon was like 36 hours later.
That's insane.
Awesome.
But I mean, the cover's not too shabby as well. This is probably like what, cover A. I mean, that's gorgeous as well.
Yeah, that Leonardi guy, he's not too bad.
Not at all. I mean, come on, incredible.
One thing too to mention, about Zoop for the audience is, Zoop is very there's a lot of options there. So when we talk about the incentives and the possibilities for you guys, and looking at if you want to, budget something out to get a piece of this while you can, there's a lot of options. I know a lot of other Kickstarter type, crowdfundings. It's very structured, very strict, and sometimes I think that turns people off. So definitely check out the site, go there, look at all the different tiers with the incentives, because I think there's definitely something there for everyone for sure.
And that's why in the intro, this is ground floor, everybody. This is ground floor on this book. Yep. There's a lot of cool things you could be getting with this book. It looks absolutely stunning, incredible. I'm loving the premise as well. You gave the elevator pitch. I'm like, yep, definitely in. So
thanks, guys. It's this is like this is like just pulling your friends together and making a story.
And that makes it even more fun when you're creating something cool and it's with your friends. So,
well, I mean, I think I've worked with Andy enough and Rick enough, and I think we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think this will fall together pretty easily. It's the kind of story that we all love. And bringing in Andrew Dahlhaus was the kind of the final piece of the puzzle. He was very keen to, he actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you guys have a colorist yet? Because
nice.
I'd like to work on that." So
nice.
everybody's really committed to making this story the way we want to. And the lovely part of it is that, we're literally sharing pages as they come in. We want to show off all this stuff to the audience, to the backers as we're doing it, so that we're very much partners in this, not just we're going to go off in a corner and pull the curtain and you guys can't see what we're doing. We want to share this as we go.
That's unique in itself, on top of being, working with Zoop.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's Zoop is a crowdfunding platform, just like Kickstarter, just like Indiegogo. So even though it's a new platform, I think it's pretty easy to navigate. And
for sure.
One of the other nice things is that Zoop does not take a percentage of ownership or anything like that. The property itself stays with me and Rick and Andy to do with as we see fit, which is in the age of creator ownership that we're in, that's always handy. I always tell people that Robert Kirkman isn't Robert Kirkman because he wrote Ultimate X-Men for a year and a half. He's Robert Kirkman because he held on to Walking Dead.
Well said. That's all. That's all we need to say there. Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Well, guys, again, audience, everyone watching, that link is below. Check it out. Ron, you got another project.
Yeah.
That you're working on. You want to talk a little bit about that before we let you go?
Oh, I've got more than one that I'm working on.
Well, time out. You emailed I think it was today. I was like, and then I read the premise on this one, and I literally emailed you back. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm also working on a miniseries for Aftershock called Almost American, which is looks just like that. In fact, it's also it's the true life story of a husband and wife who were Russian intelligence agents and ended up fleeing Russia for their lives and coming to America. And sort of getting caught in a intergovernmental struggle between the CIA and the FBI about who would run them, who they would be beholden to. So this is in some ways kind of back to my journalism roots. This is a true story. We're sticking to the facts as much as possible. And a lot of it comes from articles that have told this story in Newsweek and The Guardian. but also just talking to the spy in question, Jan Newman, who is kind of a buddy of mine now, and it's a little odd to get a text from your former Russian spy friend and say, "Hey, I got something to talk to you about." So this is the real life story that these people lived, and we're not embroidering it. We're kind of sticking to what really happened as much as possible, and it's a pretty nutty story, and very much of the real world that we live in right now. So first issue that'll be out in September from Aftershock. It's a 5-issue mini, and then after that, I'm going to be working with Jan on some other projects which are already in process. There's one called Valhalla, which is going to be an original graphic novel that Jason Masters, who drew some James Bond stuff for Dynamite, is drawing right now. And then we just I can neither confirm nor deny that we just had some meetings about doing a partnership with the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. For some projects.
That's very coy of you, knowing that you're talking about the spy industry and what could happen. But we appreciate this.
Possible. There are possible plans for a thing that might or might not happen. Like I said, I can neither confirm nor deny, but my plate is pretty full. So
I really hope that nobody's off camera right now about to threaten you. But I'll tell you what, I'm very excited for this series. I'm excited about Resolution as well. But I'm very excited about this series too, and I'm going to give away one of my Fresh from the Comic Shops. I don't care, because this is a true story as well. Shadow Doctor. This is through Aftershock too, right? I'm loving this series. I'm loving the fact that this is a true story. You know what else I'm loving? I'm loving this artwork. I mean, look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. That is gorgeous. So again,
the artist is an Italian guy named Marco Castiello, who is tremendous. He's just he's got some Yannick Paquette and Kevin Nolan vibes to his work. And this is not an easy thing to do. He's drawing real life people in real life settings, and he has to stick to a lot of the reference and nail stuff as it actually happened and as it appeared. And he's just doing a tremendous job on it. I'm really, really happy to be working with him.
Yeah, stunning. So again, true story, amazing artwork, and just the premise alone. It just blows my mind, and I'm super psyched for that. That's going to be the beginning of September. I can't remember the specific date. What was the date on that?
I think it's first week of September. I think the first issue comes out first week of September.
Third, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, everybody, y'all need to be on the lookout for Almost American. No doubt about that. No bullshit. I am absolutely getting one of these covers. I can't decide which one I like the best, but I'm excited for this series. I'm really excited for this series, and super excited for everything, and super excited that you came here and you actually made it. I'll tell you what.
I got out of the parking garage. I've never been so glad to see two dudes I'd never met before in my life.
That's awesome.
That's the thing I was going to say. Again, usually we get acquainted before the show, but this is working out very well for not having that time. I think the only knock against you I have at this point is I think you're a Mets fan, and I just think that's just disgusting.
It's true. Although they're losing 3-1 right now. I wouldn't tell you that I have the Mets on in a different window in my laptop.
No, I would not fault you, because I had the Sixers. Again, I'm a Philly fan, so that's probably a knock against me. And I had the Sixers going when the playoffs were in full swing for the
Sixers. My buddy that I had dinner with is a Phillies fan. So
okay.
We discussed a lot about the NL East, and I came down on the standpoint of the Phillies. The defense still sucks, and the bullpen's not any good. So they made some improvements today, but I think they're looking at second place.
I mean, it's been since 2010, all right? And, Chris is on the West Coast here. He's a West Coast fan. But I'll tell you what, another thing I really enjoyed back and forth, I know the audience is just like, what are you – talk about comics. No, we talked about music as well. And so he just seemed like a really well-rounded guy, other than the fact you're a New York fan. That's,
Well, look, everybody's got their crosses to bear.
Absolutely. Listen, I really hope we can connect again down the road, possibly when, all of these projects, see fruition. I guess the first thing coming out for you is Almost American, but we'd love to have you back anytime, anyway. Be great.
Anytime, Jeff. I'm happy to do it. I will endeavor not to get trapped in a parking structure the next time. I'll be on time.
Before you go, we do have a question here from Mark Lineker. And I think he's talking about like when you worked with the Big Two. Did you have to pitch your story ideas to the group of writers when it came to characters who might be in more than one series, or was it just you and the editor?
Different answer for different places. Like for Endless Winter, which was a Justice League story, we knew we were going to have the Justice League characters, but Batman's going to be doing other stuff, so he shouldn't be a huge part of the story. However, Superman can be a bigger part because we're going to have a special with him. So it's, you come in and sort of figure out what your lineup is and what the playing field is. And there's, in this day and age, obviously there's a lot of Zoom calls, right? There's a lot of Zoom calls with editorial, and, when you do a crossover like that, that's a big sweeping story that's got a bunch of different pieces to it. You end up talking to a lot of people, and then it really falls to editorial itself to coordinate, making sure that nothing's going to slip through the cracks. Our editors on Endless Winter just did a tremendous job of being out in front of it and saying, okay, look, you can't have, you can have these villains in your story. We had some, sort of villains who were, we had Catman and Icicle and, some other odds and ends, but you can't have these. And sometimes that stuff changes. Sometimes sometimes you write the script and you think you have, characters X, Y, and Z, and it turns out you don't have Z, you have character F, and you got to swap them in. So it's, but that goes with the territory. When you do a big crossover story like that, that's part of the deal. That's what you're signing on for, and you have to be relatively nimble in terms of making those adjustments, because ultimately once it's drawn, then it becomes a lot harder to make those.
Yeah, it's like shooting a scene and then it's like, you know what, you can't do that, let's just reshoot. There's no fix it in post in comics. I've actually had, like, when you do a comics gig for people that aren't familiar with comics, like, they don't really know how it works, and it's like, no, look, man, once it's drawn, it's kind of that, you're kind of done. You don't get to make, you don't get to change horses midstream once the stuff once it's drawn, it's going to press, man. Oh, absolutely. Listen, we love this insight. We would love to have you back again. Fantastic. I'm so excited about your projects. This is no bullshit, and no doubt I will be picking that Almost American up. First day it comes out, I will be picking out my incentive for Resolution as well. Chris, do you have any parting words for Ron before hopefully he won't get stuck in that room?
Yeah, I just got to say, we were talking about how, like, I'm a bit claustrophobic, and being stuck in a parking garage, I may have been too traumatized to make my appointments if that happened to me. So we appreciate you making it. We appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate the insight that you're giving today. I am an artist and a bit of a writer myself, so I was really taking in everything you said as well. Folks, Resolution, this is a project that I myself am going to be keeping my eye on as well. So I do want all of you guys watching to just at least click that link below and, give it a look, because, like I said, the clock's ticking on this. We only got a couple more weeks. So, Ron, I do really, really appreciate you making it today and sharing everything with us, and much success to all these projects in the future for you.
Thanks, guys. It was my absolute pleasure. We'll do it again soon.
Absolutely. And don't forget to follow Ron at Ron Marz on Twitter. You post there quite a bit about the Mets.
I do indeed. Let's go Mets.
And with that, we will end the interview. We'll talk soon, Ron. Have a good day.
See you guys.
See ya. All right, that was awesome. That was a great interview. Seriously, guys, I don't think you understand. Like, usually we prep the guests before the show starts, And Ron just had to jump right in and make it happen. And it was flawless. It was seamless. He's a good dude, and I'm rooting for everything he does, rooting for all the things that he does, and I'm definitely getting both of those projects. So, anyways, moving on though. Oh, again, click the link. Just check out what the incentives they got on Zoop. It's a lot of cool stuff. You guys absolutely should check that out. All right, moving on though. Chris, I think a lot of people like this segment. I think like we get hundreds of submissions a week from this segment. Chris, can you please tell me what this segment is once I get situated here? Because everything's a mess today.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
All right.
Fresh from the comic shop.
Fly from the pressing salon. That's right. Each week you guys submit your fresh gets to us, and we post them on the show each and every week. The cool thing about it for the past few months is that we've been able to give you a 9.8 slab. Everybody's been competing for a 9.8 slab, and today it culminates to our winner of what, Chris? What's the winner going to get? There's two finalists. What's the winner going to get?
This beautiful brand new car. Not just kidding. It's a beautiful 9.8 CGC Department of Truth number uno.
Ooh, that is beautiful. That is a 9.8 CGC slab. That is right. That's what we do here. Presented by Whatnot. Very grateful that they've been involved and have made this happen. Before we get into the winner here, we're going to tell you what Whatnot is. I love that gag each and every week. Whatnot is. I'll tell you what it is. Whatnot is, it combines the safe buying platform of eBay with the video component of Twitch. Their mission is to bring together collectors and enthusiasts to safely buy, sell, and connect. All right, guys, the first 4 weeks of the month, you can submit and be entered to win a 9.8 slab. But here's the rules. You must be signed up to Whatnot. The link is below. And with that sign up, you'll get $3 off your first purchase. You must follow Comic Book Canon on Whatnot. And then it's just posting your picture of your fresh gets on Instagram and tag us at Comic Book Canon using the hashtag FFTCS. That's simple, guys. That is what Whatnot is. And we are very grateful that they have provided our winnings here. So let's just get right into it, Chris. It was Into Oblivion versus Tommy Boy Collections. And we have a winner. We're happy to say Tommy Boy Collections with his Amazing Spider-Man 1021. Here's the deal, though. Both of these stories are incredible because they both involve these guys sharing comic books with their sons. Tommy Boy had that beautiful graffiti artwork on his backyard fence. He was posting with his son. And Into Oblivion share their love of Flash, the first appearance of Reverse Flash. Congratulations to you both. With Tommy Boy Collections, you have won the Department of Truth 9.8 slab. Now, here's the deal. This week is a week off. We still appreciate and get your submissions, but again, this is date night most of the time for Chris. We had this opportunity with Ron, but it's just our time to be like, wow, that was a busy month. We're going to take a beat here. We're still going to do Fresh from the Comic Shop, but it is not to win. We mentioned this before. Next week starts our next rounds, 4 rounds of Fresh from the Comic Shop. Well, you'll win a 9.8. We will announce what that slab is this week, right, Chris? Because we haven't decided yet. We don't know what it is, but it's going to be a good one. This right here is a good one. This has growth potential. Department of Truth, very, very, very appreciative. We got that. All right, so Chris, why don't we just get into it? You guys saw one of my fresh gets, and I'll show it to you again, like and pretend like I did.
You gonna start it off? Yeah, why don't you start it off with that?
No, we started off with our audience, Chris. What?
Okay.
I mean, come on.
If
it wasn't for the audience, we wouldn't be here. Am I right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm getting.
Nah, you know how I get down. I'm just teasing.
I hear you. Here's the deal, though. We're going to start off because this is a nice segue right here. It's a nice little pivot, nice little 180. Heroes Reborn, Department of Truth #1. See, it ties in to the way. This is gorgeous, though. Variant cover X, art by Jay Lee. Oasis Comics exclusive version. Only 400 copies, Chris. 400 were produced. CGC 9.8 signature series signed by writer James Tynion. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. Loving it. Next up, we have Comic Demon. What do you do on your day off? Well, Monday was a fun back-binning. I love how he uses this as a verb. Back-binning adventure found these great Spider-Woman fillers. First, Spider-Man meets Spider-Woman in canon. plus First Brothers Grimm, First Morgan Le Fay, and also First Appearance. Those are some nice books, Chris. Not gonna lie.
Beautiful.
I love the cover on this next one right here. We got Son of Comics. I'm sorry, Marvel Man 616 Comics. War of the Bounty Hunters, Darth Vader, number 14. Another awesome Vader cover. That is just gorgeous. I don't know who. That's definitely not the cover A, but it is absolutely stunning. Son of Comics, Moon Knight number 1, the Gabriel Delato. There's so many beautiful covers from this book, Chris. So many beautiful, and that is definitely one of them. Delato never disappoints. Raw Dog Comics. The artist is amazing. He loves him some Rose Besh. Rose Besh is fast becoming my favorite artist. I picked up Miles Morales Spider-Man 27 at the local comic shop. Now I need more Besh. Okay, House of L Comics, Lois Lane 106. I've been trying to find this issue for a while. We are glad you did. That is a nice Silver Age DC book. Here's our one of our finalists. Guys, this is a great book to have right here. This is Into Oblivion, first full and cover appearance of the bounty hunter Deva Lempop. She has ties to the High Republic apparently as well, so she is going to be around for a while. That is a nice looking book right there. I have to pick up one myself too. I'm pretty happy about that.
I love her hair. That hair is awesome.
I mean, yeah, come on, look at that. She's badass looking. Look at her.
Yep.
Anyways, we got Nukes Comics. I love this cover, by the way, guys.
Yep.
I picked up this copy of the Amazing Spider-Man issue 579 from Titan Comics. It has an amazing cover by Marcus Martin with Shocker busting through the title lettering while trying to get Spidey. That's a fantastic, fantastic cover. Loving that cover. And we got Comics, Cards, and Beards. Listen to this, everybody. These are fresh from the CGC comic shop that I paid to grade. Found both in the $5 bins. Chris. The $5 bins.
Yep.
Good on you. Good on you, Comics, Cards, and Beards. All right, Chris, your fresh get. Your first fresh get. What do you got this week?
What do you guys think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be?
It's going to be Warlock number 1.
Actually, if you saw the video that I posted today, I pulled out 2 more copies of those. But no, I didn't pick. If it's not a Warlock number 1, what else have I been doing?
By the way, look at all these people giving props for fresh from the comic shop. It's got to be like Thor or something. You're completing some. What is it? What do you got?
Yeah. This one it's out of the bag, so I'm just using this other book.
Look at everybody. Look at all these guys saying Thor.
Yeah, see, that's because it's just been Thor. It's been so much Thor. But this is some Fantastic Four number 72 action, baby.
Look at that cover, classic cover.
It's been so hot. The first cover of Fantastic Four with no Fantastic Four members and simply highlighting Silver Surfer. I can't believe how hot this has been. I do believe I picked this up for under the fair market value of what we've been seeing it going. It's a mid-grade, but you know how I get down. It presents decently well, and that's what I like to do. I'm not out here spending big money on fancy pants 9.8s, even though we like to give fancy pants 9.8s away. I'm good. It's a beautiful looking mid-grade copy. I can give it a press. You probably
love that cover, dude.
Yeah, but just beautiful.
I mean, here's the deal. Mid-grades for a book like that, so it's not honestly, you got a great book if it's a 5.5. Am I right?
Absolutely. And I think this is even lower than 5.5, but still, like, I mean, you look at my ASM 129 that's a 3.0. It really presents like a fine looking book, so
yeah,
I'm all for it.
That's a great pick. Man, you're crushing it with the Silver Age. Every week you've been Silver Age. I haven't had time to go back binning, as who likes to say that?
Yes.
Back binning is I'll get back. I cannot remember who says that. Anyways, I'll get back to that in a sec. But you know what? Moving on. We got Basement Brother Collectibles. Guys, this book is going to be hot because not only do we have Moon Knight around the corner, we got She-Hulk around the corner and the Incredible Hulk 282. This is the first time Hulk and She-Hulk teamed up to fight. It looks a lot like Incredible Hulk 181. I'm not going to agree with that, but I will agree that this is a book to have because this is happening. Mark Ruffalo is shooting with She-Hulk right now, and it's in production, and I'm super psyched. I can't wait till we get our first look at She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know how close they're going to reveal that up until the series premiere, but I'm super psyched for that. Then we have Sicilian Comics with Thor 186. He always brings the heat, man. He brings some good books. That is a gorgeous looking book. Speaking of gorgeous looking book, Nerds Being Geeks. I love this cover right here. Haha, number 6, written by Maxwell Prince with interior art by Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran. This is my local comic shop, Rad Raptor Comics. Haha, number 6 exclusive. Cover was done by local artist Audra Olivia. Reach out to them if you want a copy. That is a really, it's sadistic, but it's a really cool, gorgeous looking cover. We got MCats 910. Pick this up today, and I'm submitting it because of the age of the book. 1978, and the amazing high raw grade of this book and amazing cover art. There's Spider-Woman number 6. Really
Werewolf.
Nice. Yep. And there's some talk about Werewolf making it into the MCU as well. All right, we got Mike Dyson, 2099. Stoked to finally get this book. Get this sucker, he says. I went to every shop in my town and couldn't find a single copy. So thanks, random eBay seller. Good on you, because that's a hard book to find as well, because I think it has a preview of Slaughterhouse. All right, here's my first fresh get of the week. Chris, are you ready?
Ready.
It's a new book, and I have 3 new books that I haven't read this week. This one, and it's interesting. Well, we'll get into the top 10 hottest comics. That's a tease for our next segment. But this one has some two first appearance. First appearance of a Jedi and first appearance of a Sith. This is High Republic, number 7. I mean, that cover, guys, just stupid. I love it. Stupid isn't good. I love this cover. That's a Phil Noto cover.
Stupid doo-doo dumb.
Sith Lordly has something to say about this. I have not read it yet. I'm caught up with everything, but I'm not cut off with this. So, guys, I've been very busy. Chris, I've been very busy. I don't know why I'm yelling, but, guys, this is the last time I will be on the set because I'm moving into a brand new house. Thank you.
Congrats.
But as you know, it's a lot of moving and logistics and things like that. So next week I'll be in a crappy environment, like in a kitchen, like you've seen me past few weeks. And but that's a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap on this set. Just letting y'all know. So don't be disappointed.
If you're in a kitchen, you just have to be holding a big, scary-looking knife the whole time, and the audience will be fine with it.
You know what? Remind me next week. I'll do that for you. Moving on, we got Arana Escalarta with What If, number 105, which is the first appearance of Mayday Parker as Spider-Girl.
Yeah.
The autographs are of the creators of this book, Ron DeFalco, Ron Friends, and Sienkiewicz. Gotta love the Ben Reilly costume on her. Great to have the reprint accompanying it too. That's some nice stuff right there. We got, this is our guest for next week. That's right, Michelle, aka Moonlit Comics.
All right.
Always bringing some good stuff. Always bringing some good stuff. She's at Terrificon right now, and good on you all for being at Terrificon. A lot of you are. Spectacular Spider-Man Magazine, issue number 2 from 1968. Awesome painted cover art by John Romita. That's senior, by the way, which is an homage to Amazing Spider-Man 39. Chris, that's just some gorgeous stuff right there.
It is. I'm tempted to look on eBay right now to get myself one.
I mean, just so you look, just to tempt you a little bit more. There you go. All right. We got Comic Noob with 1 in 25 covers. Loving that Harley Quinn Batman 109. And I didn't say what Spider-Man that is, and I didn't get a chance to look it up. I am so sorry. All right, Chris, what do you got for your second fresh get of the week?
All right. I was thinking we could have a little fun. All right. I want you guys to help me pick. I have 2 options. We could do an Avengers book or something that involves Warlock. No, it's not an Infinity Watch number 1, but it's something that involves Warlock. Avengers or a book that involves Warlock.
Wait, are you asking or are you giving us a choice?
I'm asking you guys to help me choose.
How about Watlock? Sorry, man, I gotta call you out on that. I'm sorry, it's just funny. Watlock. I'm gonna go Thor. Why not?
I didn't say Thor.
But I said Thor. Everybody's saying Avengers, by the way. Look, Karkham, Azores, Mark.
All right. We'll go Avengers. Good. I love my Warlock, but
Watlock.
Sorry, Warlock. Ooh, sorry, Warlock. Sorry. Okay.
By the way, don't be throwing around your Silver Age books like you're throwing around.
No.
These guys literally throwing them around like rag dolls.
Look where I got this from. Big shout out, A1 Comics.
Love that store.
Yeah,
I would love to go there.
I was hanging out at A1 Comics a few days ago, just hanging out, and I was digging through back issue bins, and they didn't need to reprice it at the counter because they already had it. They already had it priced, and I said, I want it.
Time out. Is that a callback to your previous show? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was. So you guys, after we're done here, go back if you didn't watch my Friday Night Live show.
He went
Go
off.
back and watch it on the rewind. See if I can take this off so you guys can see the whole glory of the cover of the book. There we go. Okay. Here's the thing. I've been after this book for a long time. I've been watching it. Been watching it on Mercari. Been watching it on eBay. I said, I talked about this like in the beginning of the year. I think it was on one of my top books to spec on in 2021 or before something happens in the future of the MCU, because we got Secret Invasion coming, and I absolutely believe a Kree Skrull War might come. That's Avengers 89, the first book in the Kree Skrull War.
Oh.
I mean, I can't believe the price that A1 had on this book. And like I said, no, they didn't sit there and pull up their computer and reprice it on me. They said, that's the price. And I said, no question. I want it.
Wow. That's awesome. That is a great book to have as well. I think that's kind of similar to having that the first meeting of She-Hulk and Hulk. That was Basement Brother Collectibles with that. So that's up there because we're probably going to see those things in the MCU. Moving on though, we got expensive paper. Loving the name, by the way. Besides the new Department of Truth, I mainly picked up a bunch of late printings. People are geeked on this cover. It's not my favorite, but I wasn't going to go pass it up for a ratio. I think I'm now missing only 3 of the Department of Truth #1 covers. The hunt continues. There's some weirdness around this where there's a recall or they sent out the wrong covers. I don't really know what happened, but apparently it's a big to-do. And I got to read what happened here. And guys, we bring this guy up, Quentin. He's been on the show before. We bring him up a lot as a great example of presentation. That's right, presentation. Yep. I'm starting to see people kind of shoot a little bit like Mr. Kamikaze, aka Quentin.
Oh yeah.
Look at that though. That's a shallow. I'm not going to get into the book yet, but that's shallow depth of field where you see the focus just fall after the main subject. It's just a wonderful, wonderful composed shot as always. The hunt is over. He says, I finally captured Wolverine in cameo. Here we go, Chris. Big Grail dropping into my PC, taking advantage of the dip in pricing to secure my Grail. Congrats on that. The Hulk 180 at a 6.0. Good stuff, Quentin. We are rooting for you as always and very happy with this. And here we go, guys. The winner of Fresh from the Comic Shop with his latest submission. Tommy Boy Collections, my newsstand 9.8 for Daredevil, 181 The Death of Elektra, on top of my New York Times newsstand in front of my house. Newsstand on top of newsstand, guys. Are you serious? Newsstand on top of newsstand. Tommy Boy Collections. That is, again, outstanding. Very creative. That's a great example. He's always creative, Chris. Tell me I'm wrong with his cars or his graffiti. Look at you just showing off.
I'm giving this away to one of my Patreon members at the end of the month. Anyways.
Go to journals.
I was going to say, if we were picking a winner for this week.
Yeah.
He's got my pick again. He would have my pick for that one.
He can't win. He can't win again. He's already won.
I know.
Sorry,
but that's a
don't
great
stop
shot.
Sending him in. Don't stop sending him in. All right, we got Cover Junkie Comics. Had to get some more of the Kang after Loki ended. I'm fresh from the comic shop with this awesome book, Avengers 269, Kang versus Immortus.
All right.
That's a classic cover. Is it John Buscema or Sal? I think it's John.
I think it's John. I got to say something.
Classic run. Good
Pull
stuff.
that back up. Pull that back up real quick.
You can't see it?
No, pull it back up real quick.
Pull what back up?
The image of the...
Is it up? My computer's freezing.
Uh-oh.
That's not good, guys.
Uh-oh. I see you. I see us. But no comic book. Jeff. I think this is the first time this has happened, folks. On Comic Book Canon, Jeff got the journo luck, and he has froze. AT&T is no longer after me. They are now. Oh my gosh! Look, you got the journo AT&T treatment.
I don't know what's going on.
Look at that.
Spectrum knows I'm moving, and I don't. Wow.
Is that a variant of you? Oh, whoa, where'd he go?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. This is weird. I've never seen this before, so that's strange. All right. Anyways,
can we bring that? Can we bring that up one more time?
I was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm bringing it's up. What are you talking? Anyways, go ahead.
I love how the plant,
yeah,
and its base. I don't know what you call that. A plant pot. Matches Kang in the book.
Yep, 100%. Cover Junkie Comics. You have to let us know if that was intentional, please. Please do. All right, guys. Here's my second fresh get of the week. As long as Spectrum, my internet company, does not crap out. We were just talking with Ron Marz about his Almost American. It's with Aftershock Comics. It's a true story. Very fascinating. The premise is very fascinating, but this is the last issue of the series, and I think I brought it every fresh from the comic shop. It's Shadow Doctor number 5. I haven't read this issue yet, but the first 4 issues have been absolutely incredible. On top of the fact that it's a true story. It's a true story about an African American doctor in the 30s that could not start his own practice. He got in with Al Capone and started working for him and did some things about helping people who killed people. So he was not happy about that. And it's just absolutely fascinating. Guys, I cannot recommend this series enough. It's the last issue. You won't see it again on Fresh from the Comic Shop, but please pick it up for yourself. I think you all enjoy it. All right, Chris, you know what else I enjoy? I'll tell you what. These submissions. What do we got? Who do we got next? Oh, we got our boy Ian, Hood Rat Comics. Look at this, guys. Look at this. That picked up this David Nakayama Magic today at my local comic shop. Nowhere GC, I guess it's called. Inquiring minds would like to know yay or nay on the Kevin Smith and Netflix show take on the Masters of the Universe. Here's the deal. I was in my comic book shop Wednesday, as I always am, and the manager was talking about how he absolutely loved the series. I have not seen it yet. Chris, have you?
No, I can't wait to start watching it, though.
He says it's incredible. And I got some spoilery things that make me like, really, it's good? Hearing about like what he's like, it is fantastic. I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. I don't know, Ian, have you seen it? We don't know what you said. I don't think you're asking everybody else, but I don't know if you clarified if you've seen it. So let us know. That's a great get, though. This is the third time I'm bringing this cover up. I really like that cover. Really like that cover. Guys, I'm loving this book as well. C to the G. No story here, just a solid pickup. This is why I love this, guys. Steve Ditko's Blue Beetle for Charlton Comics after he left Spider-Man in Marvel Comics. I did not know Steve Ditko did Blue Beetle. Maybe I'm an ignorant comic book fan. I don't know. You can make that judgment on your own. So next up we got The Comic Criminal. This little beautiful comic is the first UK reprint of not only the origin of Morbius, but also the origin of Blade. Castle of Horrors #2 from 1973. That's a solid book right there. That is a solid book. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. All right. Chris, I'm loving this setup here. I'm loving this setup from Comics 16 Books. Look at this fish tank. Look at this fish tank right here. AT&T Walker in Dagobah? Sure, why not? And I knew photographing this would include an intruder, photobomber Felix. I'm guessing that's the fish. I don't know. He might be a stormtrooper in disguise. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, Alpha #1. Beautiful variant cover art by David Nakayama again and Miko Cyan. That is, I like that. I really do. See, guys, that's a unique way of presenting your books. Don't stop, Comic 16 Books. All right, our buddy does it again. You ever hear of a guy named Azores Tiger?
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
He ruins Fresh in the Comic Shop each and every week. You know why? Because his books blow it. Well, they don't blow everybody's away, but they're just always top notch. always top notch, and it makes me mad. No, it doesn't make me mad. I'm just jealous. We got, as he says, hashtag Throwdown Thursday goes to Jungle Action 5, where the Black Panther stories begin in the Jungle Action title. Reprint of Avengers 62. Shout out to John from Bronze and Modern Gods for helping me secure this awesome book. I love that cover. Chris, I love that cover. That is fantastic. All right.
So beautiful.
Nori Jordan, it was a busy mail week between eBay and Whatnot, who sponsors this segment. Whatnot. I have lots of fun stuff to go through. I am hoping to show off my Journos t-shirt next week. Good stuff. Thank you all for the great content. You are welcome, and thank you for watching. I mean, he's got some solid stuff right there. I see Iron Man, 225. I see that classic Dale Keown Hulk cover. I see a Secret Wars there. Darkhawk #1. I see some Red Sonjas and Spider-Gwen. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Chris, what is your third and final get of the week?
All right, folks. So you guys called it, or assumingly that you thought you were calling it from my first pick, because I've been doing nothing but Thors lately. So I'm going to give you another option on my last pick. You want Thor or Thor?
Can we do Thor?
All right, sounds good.
What do you got? Hey,
Right.
wait, time out. No, Karkham wants Watlock.
That's hilarious. I love it. That's going to be the new inside joke. Folks, now, I was about 6 books away from completing my Thor run. 6 books. I didn't ever think I was really going to get a book out of those 6. Said 5 of them, I think I can do it. So I don't know if I ever will complete it, because that one book was just kind of out of my reach, especially with what's going on in the market right now. But for some reason, I got
it. That is gorgeous.
Thor 337 first appearance of Better Ray Bill. This is the thing. I was telling myself, look, I missed it. I missed the boat, the market. We already got the Easter egg in Thor Ragnarok. There are low-grade copies. I mean, this is still a Bronze Age book. It's a late Bronze Age, 83. But you got low-grade copies that are like color-breaking creases, spine wear, spine ticks, going for like over $100. And I'm just, I can't do it. I can't see myself spending that much money on this book. I don't know if I'll be able to finish my Thor run. Look at this book. It needs a press. You see there's a little bit of waviness. I don't know if you guys can see. There is a little bit of waving on the top that could press out. Other than that, though, this book is freaking immaculate. It has like 2 very tiny spine ticks. Very tiny, that I don't even think break color. I paid way under fair market value for this book. And it was an auction. It was an eBay auction. I don't know why. I don't know. I put my high bid in and I won. And and I'm not making this up. It blows my mind, because this book could have sold at minimum for twice the value that it sold at. It blows my mind that I got this book perfectly white. I'm blessed that this came about. I'm so happy. I have about 5 more books to go, and I think I can do it to completing my Thor Volume 1 run.
That's a great book. Hey, what platform did you buy it on?
eBay. It was an eBay auction.
And you beat. Listen, I have to disclose something to you. I'm happy you got this book, but the person you beat out was Ron Perlman, and he's fucking pissed at you. He literally. I asked him what he thought, and he sent me this pic. He's like, "You tell Chris this is what I think." So, you're never going to be friends with Ron Perlman. I'll tell you that right now, and that's because you stole that.
That's okay.
You got that book. And again, I am super happy for you. All right. I'm also happy for all of these good, fine people, especially Brayman's Books. Look at this. Spent the day traveling to my local comic shop within a 50-mile radius. The Star Wars books are Whittington variants and Thor #2. I had to pay up for. Can't complain. My God, look at the stash you got. You got the first, the first, what's her name? What's her name? That the Amazing Spider-Man there. Help me out, Chris. Then you got first Gambit right there.
Madam Web.
That is, Madam Web. My bad. Gosh, brain fart. Brayman's first Daredevil Wolverine versus Deadpool. That's good stuff. Brayman's books. Very happy for you.
You just gave me an idea.
What's the idea?
If Journo's Comics ever finally gets their brick and mortar comic book store, I'm gonna name it Journo's Stash, and the logo is gonna have
stop. No. Who gave you that idea?
Well, he said something about stash in the description.
Wait, hold on. Oh yes, he did. That's brilliant, actually. That it all comes down to the execution of that logo. I'll tell you that. All right, moving on. We got Union Josh, good friend of the show. Finally got my 1 in 25 Heroes Return from my local comic shop, who were kind enough to have it on hold for me. I love the Squadron Supreme. They're my favorite team and characters. This brings me to the frame. I wanted to have some comics on the wall, and these connecting 1 in 25 variants, by the way, I like how they connect right there. Seemed like the best fit along with those cards. They gave those cards out in the shops. That's really cool. I'm digging the presentation right there, Union Josh. All right, we got Caution Comics. Second appearance Friday. That doesn't really flow. But he did give an LOL, which is laugh out loud for those that don't know. Ended up trading my Swamp Thing 37 for $1,500 and also got this Daredevil too. I think that's a great. Honestly, I think that's a really good deal. And then good for Chris. You're gonna appreciate this because he did say Watlack earlier in the show, but you know what? He kind of one-ups you now. Matt Stadge.
Oh, man.
Yep. Very cool mail call today. Just got the Canadian price variant in an 8.5 to pair nicely with my direct and newsstand editions. Journo's Comics recent video motivated me to find that third copy. Thank you. He definitely one-upped you.
I mean, come on, man. Share some with other people. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Seriously, you're hoarding them all yourself. That's fine. We all do it. All right, and good friend of the show who thought he was part of the co-hosting team is Dan De La Torre. Here's this week's Fresh from the Comic Shop. Iron Man, number 20, 7.5 white pages. I love this red cover. Look at the big smile on Lucifer's face. That is a nice looking book, Daniel. All right, guys, my last fresh get of the week is, I haven't read this book, but I'm excited I got it because it's you got a brand new character debuting in this book. Shang-Chi, number 3. Apparently his sister. And look at the cover, though. Look at how cool that cover is. I mean, come on.
Taking
it's a weird homage of that Hulk.
McFarlane's playbook. Yep.
Yeah. It's a weird homage, but I like it a lot. I really do. So I was happy to get this. And that right there, guys, that ends Fresh from the Comic Shop for this week. But next week starts a whole new month, a whole new 9.8 slab. And Chris, why don't you just go through the rules one more time? Go for it.
All right, everyone. If you want an opportunity to win an awesome book similar to this one, since this one has been won and claimed, all you need to do is download the Whatnot app. That link is below. Once you're there,
right here too, if I can get my shit together, and I will. Boom.
Once you're there, find us at Comic Book Canon and give us a follow on the Whatnot app. Once you do that, you're good to go to then submit your Fresh from the Comic Shop entries. Go onto your Instagram, take a picture of your fresh get, post it, leave the tag Comic Book Canon, and also use the hashtag FFTCS, and you will get automatically entered into that week's drawing. And then we'll go through them like we do on every show. We usually have our co-hosts pick the semifinalists that we pin up together for the community to vote on. At the end of the month, we will have another winner of another awesome gift presented to you by Whatnot.
By Whatnot. Thank you, Whatnot. Thank you for all of your submissions and making this segment so much fun each and every week. Again, the 3 criteria go. Don't forget this, guys. Do not forget this. It is presentation. It's presentation, composing that beautiful shot. It is the uniqueness of the book, right? And it also is a story behind it. It can be any of those 3, all of those 3, but make it pop in one of those 3. And we'll consider it, or actually our guest co-host will consider that as a winner. All right, guys. Here we have, for our next segment, we don't have a Cosmic Minute this week. Don't hate us. Tom, he's got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff on his plate, a lot to deal with. We love Tom, and he will be back as soon as he possibly can with a Cosmic Minute, because it is the best minute on YouTube, as somebody says all the time. I love that saying. But not this week, and I'm sorry about that. But there's another segment that you guys all love. You all love this segment, Chris. You know what it is? It is the top 10 hottest comics of the week based off of Cover Price's data. Now, Cover Price doesn't sponsor us. We just use Cover Price as kind of a tool, as kind of a stock index to showing what the hottest comics are, because it is based on real sales data. That is right. They release a top 10 hottest comics of the week on a Monday. Our show is live on a Friday. Chris takes the 3 most interesting books off of that list and dissects them and tells you why he thinks they are so interesting. Now, that interesting doesn't always mean good. Am I right, Chris?
Not always.
But it is interesting. And we like interesting. So we're just going to get right into it. Right, Chris? We're just going to get right into these top 10 hottest comics of the week. Again, I'm just a little discombobulated, but here we go. At number 10, Earth 2, number 25, the first cover appearance of Val Zod's Superman. He kind of rips off a shirt in Earth 2, number 24. So that's kind of like the first costume. Anyways, I'm just whatever. But we all know with the Michael B. Jordan rumors and all that stuff, so that's why it's hot. The Kaiju scored number 1. Mark Nelson 1 in 15 variant comes in at number 9. Everybody's going crazy because this is optioned by Sony, but we knew it was optioned before the book was released. So I don't know why everybody's going crazy about it now, other than Key Collector sending out a reminder of that, I guess. At number 8, we have Nice House on the Lake, number 1. James Tinian, the 4th, killing it. At number 7, we have Avengers number 267, the first Council of Kangs. At number 6, we have Avengers number 2, that beautiful looking Kang cover. At number 5, we have Marvel Team Up Annual 1, the first new X team outside of X-Men title, and the first team of new X team in Spider-Man. Woo! At number 4, we have Kaiju scored number 1. That is the cover A, and again, being developed by Sony Pictures, but we knew that before it was released. At number 3, we have Earth 2, number 19, the first appearance of Val Zod. At number 2, we have Basilisk number 1, Basilisk number 1, second print. That has a preview of Slaughterhouse. And at number one, guys, I had this in my freshman in the comic shop last week. I can't believe it's number 1. Star Wars High Republic Avengers number 6, the first appearance of Talbota, Leah's Gaiasi, and Afi Hollow. A lot of first appearances in that one, and it took a lot of people by surprise. Chris, this is an interesting list this week, I have to say.
Yep. Very interesting list.
I like it. I do like it. But I'm going to ask you, Chris, what is your first most interesting pick of the week? What do you got?
Well, let's just Kang is still doing things. Kang's still doing the thing. All right. The Kang thing. we got house Nice House on the Lake, like really like is gonna set the Guinness Book of World Records.
It won't go away. It won't go away.
It won't go away. So a big shout out. Man, DC really did something there. But those aren't my picks. But I like to kind of talk about those interesting things as well when they show up. But okay, my first pick, number 3, is very interesting. It's the first time something like this has happened. I did a video last week on Journos on my channel discussing 10 undervalued Marvel number 1s. And my number 3 on that list was my number 3 that I'm picking today off of the top 10 list here. And that is Marvel Team Up Annual number 1. So I don't know. Look, all of my videos that I do, folks, I tell you all, don't just watch my videos and listen to me and go buy the books. I tell you, buy what you love. I'm just here to give you my opinion and throw some data and some facts at you. But I'm really thinking that all of you went out and bought this book after I talked about it. So I appreciate you trusting my, opinion on things. But a 387% increase in sales. That's crazy. But look, the thing with this book is it's the first appearance of the new X-Men team outside of the Uncanny X-Men title. And it's also the first team up of Spider-Man and X-Men, and the new X-Men team, that is, as well. So, again, I think this one has definitely been very undervalued. It's still an early appearance of the X-Men team. It did come out about a year after Giant Size X-Men #1. This is what happened with the sales this week. A high CGC 9.6 sold for $499.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Yeah, before that, just a couple days before that, this last week, the highest sell was a 9.0 and it sold for $200. The highest raw, which I think literally sold this morning, $160. Woo. It was an eBay sale. They had it listed as a very fine, but don't ever take an eBay seller's grading without putting a grain of salt in there. But it was definitely a higher grade. So look, this book is moving. Like I said, I kind of I talked about this book, and maybe a lot of my viewers went out and bought it, And here's the thing. I want everyone to take heed, because I don't ever want to, I know I have, my viewership continues to grow. And with that, with great power comes great responsibility. And I just want to assure everyone that when I talk about books, I'm always transparent. And I tell you guys, buy what you like, do your due diligence, do your research. Just because I'm talking about something doesn't mean anything. I'm a collector like everyone else. And collectors have preferences. Some things that I collect, some other people don't want to collect. But this is where I will say that I understand, though, at the same time, why this book is getting hot. Because what did I say in that video that I talked about this book in? Undervalued. And when you ask yourself, what does that mean, undervalued? If something has a certain value on the market, isn't that fair market value? Well, you got to take into consideration the fact that especially in this market, there's so much stuff for folks to buy. And it's all about knowledge. It's all about what right? And that's why, folks utilize apps like Key Collector or other databases, because not only does it tell you what's hot, it helps you get educated to what these books are. And if more people know what this book is, this is an early appearance of the new X-Men team. This is their first appearance outside of the Uncanny X-Men title. This is the first team up of the new X team in Spider-Man. Oh, shoot. I didn't know that. People are going to go buy it, and then the demand that should have been there, if they already knew, is going to start increasing. Because of that, it's going to drive the price up. And I will say this as well, and I've been saying this for months, I do believe that these giant size one-shots and these annuals, especially from silver, bronze, and copper age, have been undervalued and overlooked for a very long time. And they pose really as solid next best things to a lot of these big books. So really cool to see this book hit the list today, or this week.
Heroes Were Born. He's like, once Giant Size X-Men 1 and X-Men 94 became out of price range. This book is up next. Hey, Chris, I have to point something out real quick before we continue. The Comic Criminal. None of the sales data includes the rest of the world, just America. You would be shocked at prices from the UK. I'm not sure that's correct, because I think they take into account all of the sales, no matter where they are, off of these platforms like
yes,
and
yes,
so
that is true.
I'm pretty sure that's factored in. But I'm interested to what you are experiencing wherever you all are in those parts of the world. So please share that with us.
There very well could be other platforms that are specific to territories.
Yeah.
But the major platforms are brought in, ran through the algorithms, and that, you know, eBay, Mercari, mycomicshop.com. I'm actually not sure mycomicshop.com ships globally, but obviously eBay is that big one. It is a global market. And if there is a global sale on eBay, it's going to show up in the data on these lists.
Yeah, so just I think to keep that in mind, but we would love to hear what you're experiencing wherever any of you are all over the world. All right, Chris, what is your second pick here for your second most interesting pick off of this list? What do you got, Chris?
All right, you know, I again, that's why I gave a shout out to Nice House on the Lake. That I could have picked that. I could have picked another King book, because especially that 267 is just what it's doing in sales. You guys go look at that, go do some research. It's crazy. But we've been so heavily Marvel that I had to bring in an indie. Basilic, #1 second print. I mean, this book is doing big things, and I picked it because it's a good talking point. All right, obviously this is Boom Studios. I've been loving a lot of what Boom Studios has been doing. This book has been hot because it's been supposedly under ordered, and it's been 2 weeks in a row that it's been on the top 10, right? So this week it had a 191% increase in sales and a high raw sold for $61. Now, here's what I want, folks. This is why I want to talk about this book and what makes this very interesting. The first printing is still selling for roughly cover price. You could find, you go on even on eBay, you know, you can find it selling for $5-6. This is a situation where you got a second print moving for much more than a first print. And I bring this up because we all know that it's a bit of a controversial topic, because there's some collectors out there that are so adamant saying a second print should never be worth more than the first print, right? And it's like, well, I mean, okay, it's free market. People will buy and demand what they want. And that's what makes this so interesting. Look, you have to understand this. People value things differently. And when I say value, I don't mean monetary value. I mean intrinsic value of the book itself. Why do we value the book? Because it's a good story, because it's a good cover, because it's scarce, because it's a low print run, it's a first appearance, it's a first cover, it's a variant cover of an artist. All these things are why we value a book. Those values that we inherently hold onto the book then dictate what type of monetary value we're willing to put out for said book. And it's just a simple fact of the matter that when people hear under order, they think that that's something to value. And of course, that type of value and monetary value correlate and overlap. And it's almost like chicken or the egg. What comes first? I don't know. But it is a mentality between folks in this industry that collect, that think under ordered, scarcity, it's going to be worth more money. I need to get it now before it blows up. My take on this is it's going to die out. This is not a book that's going to hold its value. But look, if it is indeed scarce and it's going to be harder to find than that standard #1 down the line, it's absolutely going to hold a premium above that first print still. And that's basic supply and demand.
I think I'm pretty sure there is a preview of Slaughterhouse, which is a spinoff of Something is Killing the Children, in this specific issue, not in the first print. It was under ordered and everybody went nuts for it. So I think that could be why.
Well, you know, and then take that variable in as well, and we go back to what do folks value about the book. Well, there's a preview. So some people value previews.
Yes.
That drives the demand up, and it drives the monetary value up. But the thing I want folks to focus on is this. All of these reasons why people might value a second print more, it's viable. It's just that nobody can sit here and dictate a second print shouldn't be work more. Hey, look, there's different variables to this book. There's different factors. Whether it's a variant cover, whether it's a preview, whether it's because they think it's scarce on the market, print run, it doesn't matter. People value things differently. If it drives the demand's going to drive the price on the market.
For sure. By the way, Heroes Reborn. Imagine if they did second, third, and fourth prints. They did do this. They did that. I remember like they had the gold versions of some books. Remember that, Chris? You know, they changed the color of either the title or of but they definitely had seconds. Not sure if they went down the road with third and fourth, but absolutely had seconds, no doubt about that. And Mark Lineker, thank you for you. He says no one can pronounce that title. I'm definitely guilty. Basilisk. Mark, please let us know if that's correct. If I did it right, Chris, give it a try.
Oh, I spelt it. I forgot the S.
I said it wrong too.
Basilisk. I forgot the S.
Basilisk. Mark, please. All right, moving on. Chris, what is your third most interesting pick from this list?
Well, my third most interesting list on this pick is one that I picked up. I wish I could show it off. Star Wars. Got to give some Star Wars love. The High Republic Adventures. Number 6. I don't know if I can pronounce all these first appearances. Tau Bota, Leos, Gaiasi, Affy, Hollow. I don't know. Star Wars.
Basilisk. Sorry, yeah. Basilisk is not from. I'm practicing. Sorry.
Okay, I gotcha. Star Wars names are tough sometimes.
Yes.
This was number 1 on the list. Really cool cover. I like that cover, by the way. Number 1 on the top 10 list and my number 1 pick. Why did I pick this book? Is it because there was a high raw that sold for $25 and I think that they're going to keep selling for that? No. Is it because it had a 278% increase in sales? No. It's just for the simple fact that Star Wars Mania is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars with the High Republic is expanding the mythos so much right now. And this is an IDW Young Reader Adventures book. Now, some people may say, well, Chris, I don't really understand what you mean about why you're picking this, because obviously it's hot because of spec. Obviously it's hot because of first appearances. And if somebody's buying it for $25, what about the little kids that want to go to the shop and, just get a Star Wars book to read off the shelf? My answer is this. Those kids that go to the shop that day of, because they enjoy going to the shop and it might be gone, the young reader market is so strong right now that there's always going to be something else there. There's I'm going to assume that there's probably going to be a second print of this book that will be available for those that just want to read it, right? And if they're that young, the parents could be taking advantage of a pull list for their kid or ordering via previews and getting 35% off, like I always talk about. But here's the thing. Ultimately, these first appearances of these characters are really important right now to Star Wars fandom in general. Whether you're buying it to speculate, whether you're buying it to flip, whether you're buying it to read, whether you're buying it because you're a kid or you're a 45-year-old middle-aged man or woman and you just like Star Wars. There is so much potential right now with all of these characters that they're introducing, because of Disney and Lucasfilms finally realizing what they have and what they can do with it and getting the right people on board, following the model of Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. All right. That is the big takeaway here. That high raw selling for $25, by the way, I went to a local shop Comic Command Center on Wednesday, and they still had a good handful on the shelf. Wow. So I bought one. So, I mean, look, again, keep in mind, these site sales are online sales. So maybe somebody doesn't have easy access to a local LCS, and, maybe their online options are sold out. They go on eBay, they're willing to pay a little bit of a premium. I do think this price can come back down some, but if we get an announcement of any of these characters on anything in Disney Plus, it's just it's done.
I mean,
it's done.
they've already. I think they've tied in the Acolyte, which is a series that they announced, to the end of the High Republic, so it's part of the High Republic. So, Disney is heavily investing in the High Republic. They are incorporating. They got novels. They have the regular line. They have the what they're calling the children's line, but that storyline is a little bit better than the regular High Republic line.
I agree. I read through issue 4, and I agree with you.
It's really good. It's not a children's book at all.
Yeah.
It's good. They're starting to have these little one-off offshoots of the High Republic as well. Can't remember what the title is. I think it's coming out in September. So keep an eye out for High Republic. And Chris, what you said, that people are still in a frenzy for Star Wars, and it's just exciting to see where they can go, because they will make these properties. They will be in other media formats, whether they be video games, films, or Disney Plus shows.
Yep. And you got to remember too, everyone is going to looks back at Rian Johnson and the 2017 debacle, and the disappointment of the sequel trilogy, and is this bad thing, the stain, but it's almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes here with what's going on. If we didn't have the controversies, the divided fandom, and I never advocate for a divided fandom, but look, what happened. But because of that, we got the phoenix coming from the ashes now. And with Filoni and Favreau and Disney really saying, okay, getting Lucasfilm lined up to, like I said, follow that Feige Marvel Studios model, and then bringing it back to tie into the comic books. I don't think this would have happened. I don't think this would have been happening if we didn't have the controversies with the sequel trilogy. So it's like you got to find the silver lining in all this. We are dawning a new age right now with Star Wars, and I think we should be grateful for that. And it's kind of like sometimes you got to go through the bad to get to the good, and get to that, and that's kind of where we're at, and it's just beginning.
I'm not going to say. I think this is very divisive. Anyways, that right there. Honestly, how about this? That right there ends the top 10 hottest comics of the week. We will have another list next week, and Chris will pick his 3 most interesting picks from that list as well on top 10 hottest comics of the week. All right. With that being said, I just had to make a clean edit point because, as you guys know, we post these segments up separately. Chris, we don't disagree a lot, but that most recent trilogy was not a debacle, wasn't a disaster. I actually liked it. I liked it. The last
I'm not saying that for myself. That's public perception.
Okay. But here's the deal. I don't think from that spawned The Mandalorian and all the other shows we're going to get. I think that was already in the works because, Favreau, Filoni, they love these characters. They're talented filmmakers, and they're going to make it happen.
Okay, let me try to clarify what I was saying. First off, I'm really speaking to the public perception.
Okay, you did not make that clear. You did not make that clear.
And how the fandom is latching onto these things so much because of what had happened with the sequel trilogy. It's how they're responding. I will say this though. I think you're right to a lot of those things being lined up, but I can tell you this for a fact. Because of the divided fandom, I know that the executives with Disney have been forced to really look at who they're putting in charge.
Yes.
So I don't know if it all would have worked out the same way it's been, with really giving Favreau as much free reign and oversight. And I'm still going to say Kathleen Kennedy is going to be out and Favreau is going to come in. And I don't know if that would have happened if there wasn't such controversy over the sequel trilogy. But I think we agree. I'm with you. I enjoyed the first Force Awakens. I had extreme issues with Rian Johnson and his ego. I think Rian Johnson is the reason why it fell apart in the first place. I give JJ credit for doing what he did on the third one to make the best of it. So it's not my personal opinion. It's definitely, it all revolves around public perception. And I don't think the public perception would be this, what's the word to I don't know, maybe you can help me out with the wording. Like they're this pulled in. It's like this united front now, you know, where it's like, yes, now, like this is what we've been wanting. This is so regardless if it was going to come or not, they had to get that slap down, that beat down in order to like get pulled up to enjoy what's happening right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Here's a good question. Nerds being geeks, do you think the new trilogy will be beloved like the prequel trilogy is now? I'm not in the camp saying that the prequel trilogy is beloved. I still think it's awful. I try and watch it. It's awful. But you know what happened? The Clone Wars happened. That series happened. And they turned things around in terms of it's amazing what that series did between the second and the third one to kind of just add more context and make it better, I guess. Does that make sense, Chris?
Well, I disagree with you there because Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever. Woo! Now, I will say, you know, there was some dryness, but I don't think, here's the one thing. I mean, we don't all need to like the same things, but I will say this. Star Wars fans have always been extremely fickle, and a lot of them that hated on the prequel trilogy, you know, saying, oh, George Lucas screwed us and all this, they're the reason George Lucas sold it to Disney, and most of those people are the same ones complaining about, or okay, did I say that right? Those fans that were mad about the prequels at George Lucas saying he ruined it are the reason why he sold it to Disney, and those same people were the ones not liking and mad at Disney for what they did with the sequel trilogy. So it's like they can never be happy. But Jar Jar Binks was a character that never needed to show up. But ultimately, each one of those movies, you got an iconic character with Darth Maul. Qui-Gon was amazing. You know the casting with Ewan McGregor. You know, it was a lot of politics though, and that was needed. If you understand George Lucas's, you know, story arc of what he was trying to say, you needed to understand the politics behind the games being played that created the Empire in the first place. And that's what those first two movies did, regardless if they were perfect movies or not.
They were horribly acted, horribly directed. It doesn't matter about the politics. There was no pace to them. There was no substance. I hear what you're saying. I enjoyed seeing the context of how it led into everything, but they were not good films.
You say, I want to point out, horribly acted. I'm gonna be what's his name? I'm Mark I love Mark Hamill. I'm Mark Hamill on the set of Star Wars #1. On the set of Star Wars #1. When Uncle what's the name? Not Uncle Ben, Uncle
Owen.
Uncle Owen tells him that he needs to do his chores. Oh, Uncle Owen, I want to go to the academy. Like, I mean,
yeah, honestly, I would take that over what Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman, she's a very good actress, and they did not pull that out of her. He did not pull that out of her at all.
Okay, I agree with, you know, Portman.
It was terrible. Everything was flat with those films. Everything.
Hayden Christensen outside of his relationship with Natalie Portman, I thought Hayden Christensen did a great job, especially in Revenge of the Sith, because he's supposed to be, we're supposed to not like him. We're supposed to not like him, and we saw him turn to this entitled punk that, that got obsessed with ego. And, people make fun of how he talked. This kind of like, he wasn't really talking with an accent, but he like drew certain words and how he pronunciated it. You know what he was doing? He was mimicking who voiced Darth Vader?
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones. Listen how Hayden Christensen was talking, and listen how James Earl Jones, in his very, I don't know what you call that, because James Earl Jones obviously is clearly American, but he takes that very educated pronunciation of words.
I like what Mark Lennox says
Pay
here.
attention to it.
A good actor cannot act their way out of a bad script and or direction. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. The original Star Wars films had some of the worst writing and worst taglines or one-liners in the history of filmmaking, but yet we give them a pass because of what those movies mean to us. If the original trilogy came out today, fanboys across the world would be shitting all over Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher.
This is what you're trying to say here. Do you think Tony Trombetta, EGS, we love you. Do you think the prequel trilogy would have been more interesting if they actually started with those instead of starting off with New Hope?
I don't.
Nope, either. Yep, me too.
Nope.
Here's what I'm really upset about, Chris. This is a wrap on this set. I'm moving, right? And we're ending it on such a down note. So angry at you. So angry. This is how it's ending. I'm not going to continue on.
This is great. Disagree. We hardly disagree. That's like Comic Journey, good friend of the channel, was in my chat on my Friday Night Live last week, and we were going off disagreeing, but it made the show. So I think it's good that we're ending. We just agreed though with Tony's question. But I think it's good. I just asked you, Jeff. I asked you though. I'm not trying to change your totality of your perspective on these films, because I think there's some baseline of where we do agree with the flaws. But I'm telling you, I just asked yourself, if the original trilogy came out today, fanboys would be talking major shit.
Look, man. Okay, I'm here. I'm gonna. Carcom US asks a good question. Or not. It's a statement. I want to see what your reaction is. Here we go.
First off, that's not true.
No, it's not true. How do you feel? How does it make you feel?
Okay, here's the thing. If Hayden Christensen was cast as Warlock, I would feel this. I would say, one, Tristan Feige and Sarah Haley Finn, because their casting has just been amazing. And I would have to wait until I saw the movie or wherever he showed up. I would have no... Look, I mean, we haven't seen him. What was the last movie he did? It was that movie with like, wasn't like Common in it. It was like a heist movie, and it was kind of a B movie. Not that he was bad in it. It was like a low budget movie. That was like 13 years ago. So
Watlock strikes again.
Mark, I can't have an opinion on that.
Mark Lineker wants us to have like Pistols at Dawn. That is hilarious. All right, guys, this has been a great show, man. This has been a really good. It's seriously been a great show. It's a wrap here in the Comic Book Canon studio right here. I'll be building out another studio in my new house, and I don't know what it's going to be like. So y'all have to be patient with me. I may not have some cool stuff in the background, but we got to thank Ron Marz.
Yep,
that was a great interview. You got to check out Resolution. You got to check out Almost American. Those are some great series I'm excited for. I'm also very grateful for you, Chris. We do this each and every week. I'm grateful for the audience. It was a lot of fun today.
It was great. I'm glad we had time to kind of free flow there at the end too. So
yeah, it's not. We usually don't, but I think we're gonna wrap it because I got a long day. Heroes are born. I mean, come on. You guys should shake hands and agree to disagree before signing off.
Dat. We do. We want to do this. We want to disagree more often. I think that's
we do. We agree. That's the thing. We agree way too much, and it's like y'all may think that they're such nice guys, and they just they don't want to hurt each other's feelings. But no, we really agree. Like, Chris, it's got to be like 98% of the time.
Yeah, and I think when there may be disagreements, it's not even like a full disagreement. It's just maybe like, even here, when we were talking about the sequel trilogy, that was more of context of what I was trying to say.
I misunderstood you.
Right. So yeah, it's very minimal. It's like both of us enjoying, BLT sandwiches. I just like, light mayo and Jeff likes to pour his on or something, something like that.
That's a dumb analogy. But here's the deal. The fact of the matter is you love the prequels to Star Wars, and I just don't like them at all. You said you loved them.
I appreciate. Here's where I stand. Let me put this final.
I'm joking.
I appreciate every Star Wars movie. Revenge of the Sith, though, I love. That is one of my favorites. It is. Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorites.
Okay, here's the deal. I know we're kind of rambling on, but if you're gonna ask me what the best out of the three were, no doubt it was Revenge of the Sith. No doubt.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you ask me if that's a good movie, I'd have to say no. I'm hurting your feelings, I can tell. So we're gonna end now.
No. I do want to say to the audience, I'm rocking this shirt for a reason today, folks. And it's because I just want to let everyone know that whatever anybody is going through, never give up. Never give up. Like Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel said, never give up. However that song goes. I don't know. 80s electronic pop music knowledge there. Anyways, though, folks, we got a lot going on. Jeff's got a lot on his plate. We hope that you stick with us while we never give up going through what we're going through to bring you guys Come Up with Cannon every week. I'm not trying to get a sob story out there, but I may not be in my setting for a while to come here soon. I got, some unfortunate stuff going on, but no matter what's going on, Jeff and I are going to be here every week, still with Come Up with Cannon. We're not going to give up. You guys don't give up, whatever it is you're going through each and every week. And we thank you for being here each and every week to be a part of this awesome freaking community. And that's all I got.
Honestly, you can't top those words on ending the show. Thank you all for being with us tonight. And as you are each and every week, we hope you guys come back next week. We got Moonlit Comics as our guest co-host if she passes her interview portion.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see about that. She's at Terrificon right now. But guys, thank you again so much. You guys all take care, be good to each other, and have a great week. Chris, hold on. I wasn't ready. I'll do that again. Be good to each other, and have a great week. Peace. Oh, I didn't remove us. We're still live.
Oh, no.
Have a great week.